all the members of parliament present here, governors, senators, members of my delegation from Nairobi, and to you, the great people of the United States from Kenya. Good evening. I'm Jama. First, let me take this opportunity to thank the DMV chapter for making it possible for us to meet this evening. I think this is among the biggest gatherings I have addressed outside Kenya. And I know how difficult it is to push people together when people are juggling between three jobs. Or is it hustling between three jobs? So I know there is great sacrifice that has gone into putting this meeting together, and I want on behalf of our team to recognize and to very sincerely thank the people, men and women who put this together. Thank you to the church for providing us this great facility for us to use so that we can have this engagement as people from Kenya and our friends. Let me also thank our friend Untitled Chapter. When the history of Kenya will be written, there will be several chapters about the contribution of Untitled Chapter. And most of the time are among the other friends that we have put this together. Let me also congratulate Paul Mwite, a global champion, for all the other members of this great team for volunteering, spending your resources, spending your time to try and put this together. And all of us present here, I know the amount of sacrifice people have had to make to be able to come all the way from the different parts of the United States, the sacrifices that each one of us have had to make so that we can have this meeting this evening. And on behalf of Kenya Kwanza, the team that we are here this evening together, and the team back home, we want to thank the diaspora community for identifying us, for being part and parcel of the journey that we are all engaging in trying to fashion the next government of the Republic of Kenya that will work for every Kenyan. I want to say a couple of things by way of response to the issues that have been raised here. And before I do that, I want to say we are truly grateful to the diaspora team, economic team, for the input they have made. I am here with Professor David Lee, who who is our lead person in the economic team that we put together. The document you have given to me, I will pass it on to our economic team that was developed by the team here. And I look forward to have and you and our economic teams as we do the economic charters for the counties. I'm looking forward to having an economic charter for county number 48. And already Danson has already done some very good work on priorities that you people in the diaspora consider must be addressed by the next administration. Let me say a couple of things by way of what you have said. We have pushed a new paradigm in the politics of our nation. We undertook, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, to say we are going to change the political conversation in Kenya. And that the political conversation in Kenya is no longer going to be about leaders and positions and power. That is going to be about people, their aspirations, their economic well-being, empowerment, and jobs. So that reality of changing the political conversation is actually here with us. And you have heard from my brother Musalia Mudavadi that we came together because we realized that the same things we were talking about in UDA are the same things ANC and Ford Kenya were discussing. And because we are all believers in a new political conversation in our country, that's why Kenya Kwanza, as has been said by my brother Musalia. And while we said that we are going to change the political conversation, many people did not take it seriously. That's why today our competitors are stuck in trying to share positions and power, and they are stuck with the leaders when we have gone with the people. The political conversation in Nairobi at the moment, on the other side, they are still struggling to find who will be their candidates and which position is who going to occupy and what power is going to be apportioned to which group and which person. We did undertake on our side that, as my brother said, this is not about what is in it for William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, or the next person. What is in it for the people of Kenya? And that is our drive. That's our focus. And that's our inspiration. And that's why we have fashioned what we consider the issues that will inform the decision of every Kenyan as they go to the ballot on the 9th of August. What is at stake as you go to the ballot on the 9th of August? What will inform your decision, one way or another, on the 9th of August? We believe that a couple of issues are the things that will be on the ballot on the 9th of August. On the 9th of August, we will have our constitution, actually a referendum on our constitution on the ballot. Why do I say so? This election is a referendum on the 2010 constitution because those on our side believe we have one of the greatest and most progressive constitutions in the continent. And we believe that the only things remaining is how to conclude its implementation. How to operationalize the judiciary fund, make the judiciary much more independent by giving it financial independence so that they can discharge their mandate in accordance with the Constitution, keep the other arms of government in check, deal expeditiously with disputes and with corruption cases, accountability cases, and make the other arms of government and every citizen in the Republic of Kenya accountable, and therefore provide the progress of our nation. We believe we should conclude on making the Inspector General's office, the office of the DCI, and all the other arms of the criminal justice system truly independent by giving them financial independence, a complete with an accounting officer, and a budget that is not controlled by the executive or any other office for that matter. That is the trajectory on our side we believe we should view the Constitution. Our competitors, however, believe that the Constitution should be changed. They already proposed 72 odd amendments to the Constitution. Among these recommendations is how to bring back the imperial presidency that can control the judiciary, that controls the executive, and that will control the legislature through appointments of people in the executive into the legislature, and an ombudsman to supervise and compromise the independence of the judiciary. That's why I tell you, in this ballot is a referendum on our Constitution, whether we are going back, whether we are going forwards, completing its implementation, or we are going backwards to where we came from 30 years ago. And therein lies the choice in this election. In this election is going to be a vote on the economy. Are we voting for proposals on how to create jobs? Because we have put together our plan and we have identified infrastructure investments that will deliberately create jobs for our young people. It is no longer possible for us to say we are going to grow the economy and the economy will create jobs. We must be deliberate about investments in areas that will actually create jobs for our young people, because we have close to 4 million young people out of school, out of college, out of university that today do not have jobs. We have put the proposal that we need to get our micro, small, and medium enterprise that form 80% of all enterprises in our country. We need to get them to access credit, provide legislation that protect their enterprises so that they are not subjected to the kind of harassment that we are seeing even with companies like Keroche, and provide an environment where these enterprises can thrive. We believe that support going to SMEs that employ close to 10 million Kenyans, if we manage to double the incomes of these SMEs, we can actually triple the income of these SMEs. We will be able to grow our economy, actually double our economy in between 10 and 15 years. We also believe that we should have targeted investments in agriculture, because we can get easier returns and we can raise the productivity of our farmers. We'll say, for example, Kenya today is the largest producer of milk in the continent of Africa. We produce about 5 billion liters. And yet, if you look on average, we are actually producing between 3 and 4 liters per cow. We can produce between 15 and 20 liters per cow if we just tweak a little bit on the feed available to the same cows or dairy cows we have today. We will not only double the income of our farmers or even triple the income of our farmers, but we can also make milk overtake in terms of exports, both horticulture and tea. And therefore, we have a solid plan, economic plan, on how to take Kenya to the next level. You're all aware that universal health coverage was part of our Big Four plan, which suffered the fate of the entire plan when we engaged ourselves in the handshake, the BPI, and the conundrum that all that became, the political conundrum it led us. It's our conviction as a team that in the next 1 year, it is possible, with now the structured contribution that the law now provides, we should be able to have universal health coverage in 1 year for every Kenyan. So it is our plan versus what it is that they are proposing that will be on the ballot. And I will implore you as responsible citizens of our country to exercise your vote in a very responsible manner. It is said that people deserve the choices they make, and the choice that we are going to make as a country on the 9th of August. It is very important that all of us be deliberate about the choices that we are going to make, and listen to all of us so that we can make the right choice. So on the ballot is whether we move forward, complete the implementation of the Constitution and make progress, or we engage the reverse gear and go back to an imperial presidency. On the ballot is whether we continue trickle down that creates exclusion, or we engage in bottom-up that creates inclusion. On the ballot is whether we end up with a universal health coverage or not. On the ballot is whether we have investments in agriculture, improve the productivity of our farmers or not. On the ballot is whether the lady you said works in Joska, my good friend Danson, whether they have access to credit to do their business, and whether there is a regime, a legal regime that protects their business, and whether they have the environment to do their business or not. So these are the reasons why we believe that we have an opportunity to work with the diaspora to fashion a Kenya that leaves nobody behind, and a Kenya that is inclusive, both politically and economically. And as I speak to these issues, I am acutely aware that the diaspora has been the largest contributor to our foreign exchange reserves and the progress, the economic progress of our country. I am so aware, and our team is so clear on the kind of engagement and the level of engagement that is required for us to tap into the huge resource that exists in our diaspora. In 2016, I think, we launched the Diaspora Policy. Unfortunately, the Diaspora Policy suffered the same fate the Big Four suffered, and we didn't quite get time to implement it. There are very positive provisions in that Diaspora Policy. We will need to refashion it, and there are some minimums that we must agree with the people in the diaspora going into this election. I think we have agreed, first and foremost, that to make your contribution to our economy much more meaningful, many of you send money to Kenya to look after your folks' medical needs. We believe that you will achieve that better if every citizen has a universal health coverage, his own universal insurance. And it will become easier for you to buy or pay the contribution for your family members on a government scheme that ensures that there is no ad hoc arrangements required whenever they fall sick. Once they have an insurance cover, you're off the hook. You will not get phone calls in the middle of the night. So and so is sick, send us money. Once they have health insurance, they will be able to look after themselves, and you can, in a deliberate, predictable way, be able to support your families on matters to do with health if we have health insurance that's available to every citizen. And that goes all the way to the final rights. Well, I think there is an insurance cover that takes care of funeral expenses and that kind of thing under the health insurance. The second item, we know many of you try to build houses at home, and you send money, and we have incidences where developments of other people. Somebody goes take photographs, they send you.
Yeah.
How far your house was gone. Only for you to turn up and know that there was no such thing. Our social housing, low-cost housing, an entire housing plan, that's part of what we are planning as part of the Kenya Kwanza economic plan. You will be able to buy a house without the vagaries of your relatives or friends taking advantage of you, in a much more predictable, in a much more organized, and in a way that is also cheaper for you, because you don't have to supervise it. So we will make specific packages available to people in the diaspora, because we realize the critical position you play in our economy, but we also realize that you cannot be in Kenya to be able to take care of your investments. And therefore, specific packages are going to be made so that you can play your role, and your contribution to the economy of our country can also be meaningful to both yourselves and the people back at home. I should also say that, because I know you support a lot of micro and small enterprises way back at home, that it should also be possible for us to have, under the fund that we are proposing, the micro, small and medium enterprise fund, it should be possible for us to lift the burden from your shoulders and make it possible for you to be able to support your families in different ways, or make it possible for you to contribute to that fund. Maybe one more thing. I agree with you. In fact, when we took government payments to e-citizen, the intention was to avoid this traveling 8 hours to go and do a simple thing like renew your passport. Unfortunately, it looks like it didn't quite solve the problem, that people have to still travel 8 odd hours, spend so much money to access basic services. I want to agree with you that that is a minimum we can agree with the diaspora. That going into the future, we undertake to make it easier using ICT and the whole digital space for people to renew their passports, to have access to services online in a manner that is structured and secure. Diaspora Caucus, we have a grand lady here who is a senior member of the diaspora, Susan Kihika. Why don't you take up the Diaspora Caucus and build up one in Parliament, so that these people can be talking to, you have a lot of experience in diaspora matters. You have, in fact, she's among the people who really helped us find our way around here. You know, many of us are villagers. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. So, I have not ambushed you. I know you are equal to the task. Even as you go to be governor of Nakuru, you will after you delegate that to somebody else. But I suggest that you think about trying to assemble a diaspora caucus in Parliament to handle the issues that are dear to our friends here. One more thing is to again commit myself and my team. And as you've heard the Honorable Musalia say, the issue you have raised here about the diaspora ministry, compared to the contributions you make, is a legitimate ask. It is legitimate for you to ask us to have a diaspora ministry. If you're contributing 400 billion more money than you are giving to all our counties, you deserve attention. And I had the rallying call by my good friend. You see, the voices of diaspora must be heard. I agree with you 100%. And this time around, they will be. So let me also thank you very much for helping me from the onslaught on the people who are asking why we left the hustlers in Nairobi, why we didn't come with the Mamboga and why we didn't come with the border guys. Thank you very much, because you have answered them, that you have more serious hustlers. The people who are hustling 18 hours, maybe 20 hours every day, and that you have only 2 hours in the house. So we didn't have to carry the hustlers from Nairobi, because they are already plenty in the US. So I guess, unless you have a few questions for us, I want to tell you, I know Kenyans out here are concerned about the elections. Let me give you our undertaking that we will do our part to ensure that we have free, fair, and peaceful elections. And part of our mission to this great country, a country that believes in democracy and a beacon of freedom, is to leverage our friendship with the United States to assist us in forcing the people back at home who are notorious for rejecting the outcome of elections and doing all the wrong things, for them this time around to undertake that they will accept the results of the election and the will of the people of Kenya, and they will not do the things they've always done. And I think we got a firm commitment from our friends in the US. We're going to ask our friends in Europe and our friends everywhere to help us ensure that nobody causes mayhem and chaos, demonstrations, and the rest of it after the elections. We want a peaceful country. And I promise you that we will have peaceful elections if our friends commit that they will accept the results and the outcome of the elections and accept the will of the people of Kenya to prevail. We are very confident that these elections will be free and fair, and there will be no danger of any monkey games. So thank you very much. I think let me leave it there for now. But allow me, I have very distinguished members of our delegation who are here. And they are very outstanding in their own right. It would be very unfair of me not to give them a moment to say hello and to say one or two things. They are very good people, generally. I will want to start with the ladies. I want to ask Soipan Tuya. She is the current member of Parliament from Narok County. She's a very able speaker in the National Assembly, and a distinguished leader in her own right. Just to say hello, maybe probably say so.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The members of Diaspora. I was a member of the Diaspora a few years back in Washington, Seattle. So I saw a few members from Seattle here. You guys are doing a great job. We are proud of you. And like His Excellency, the Deputy President has said, the kind of issues that you have put across, it just amazes me, Your Excellency. Yesterday you said that there are certain simple decisions that sometimes are difficult to make, and it's unexplainable, because when you hear that a whole embassy is crude to members of diaspora, I cannot understand that. And as a member of UDA, as a member of Kenya Kwanza, I think that will be one of the least things that we can assure members of diaspora, that all the issues that you have raised here resonate with what Kenya Kwanza is promising Kenyans. A new hope, a new dawn, new inspirations. Thank you very much. I'm a member of Parliament from Narok County. I'm currently the woman rep, and I want to say that I'm very happy to be here. And truly, the 9th of August, God is going to do something new that has not been seen before. And I can feel it. Mbarikiwe sana, asanteni.
Let me ask Mama Beatrice Santagana, all the way from Vihiga.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The people of diaspora. Tufanye namna hivi, serikali iko hapa. And the diaspora, you've got record as the people who are part of this government. And it's not far away. It's just a few weeks to go. We are proud of you for the warm welcome. I hope you'll excuse me for the blankets. You have to understand us, and especially where I come from, Vihiga County. I'm the member of Vihiga County. His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi is my voter number 1. To reciprocate by looking for more votes for Kenya Kwanza. Thank you very much. You're welcome home. Your concerns, I'm very sure this government will take care of. You're in good hands. And with God, everything is possible. God bless us all. Have a nice flight as you go back to your areas of residence.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. I will ask, let me ask my good brother Owen Baya, Member of Parliament for Kilifi North.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Hamjambo. What I want to assure you, many people think that the Coast Region belongs to the other camp. But I want to assure you that the Coast Region has moved to this camp. I want to assure the diasporas, once a member of the diaspora, some 12 years ago, I was in Pennsylvania, in Penn State as a student. I also did some work a little bit in Arkansas, Little Rock. So I'm a bit familiar here. But I also want to say that the success of this team will require everybody's effort. Everybody, including the 1 vote, the 2 votes, the 3 votes that you have in your state or in the other part of the world. When we run your support here, we also want to run your support in Europe and for your friends there in the Middle East, so that we can make a resounding first round win for UDA and Kenya Kwanza. So thank you.
Let me ask the Honorable Kipchumba. No, before Kipchumba, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa. Constituency and now Council level.
Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you, Excellency. Hamjambo. Unapangwa majini mnajipanga. Hampangwi. Hata sisi Kanairo hatupangwi. But it's really good to be here, and thank you, Your Excellency, for the opportunity to just say jambo. But Your Excellency, I want to tell you, when you become president, the people to offer tax waivers is not NIC and CBA, NCBA Bank. It is the people of the diaspora. These are the people who deserve tax waivers as they reinvest back home. Not those who are back home who believe that they own the country and they own us, and even our taxes belong to them. These are the taxpayers. These are the real hustlers, as you've had. They hustle for 20, 22 hours every single day. And I want to assure you that we have a leadership in Kenya Kwanza that feels you, that feels and knows your struggles, and a leadership that will appreciate you. And I want to assure you that even back home, many of the burdens that you carry here, as you struggle to take care of your families back home, those burdens will become lesser and lighter with proper and focused leadership in Kenya. And we can only find that leadership in this Kenya Kwanza team under the able leadership of His Excellency. Tukirudi nyumbani, unataka tutume salamu? Tuseme hampangwi na hamtapangwa na hamutishingwi. Hata mimi niko hapo kwanza, hapo pakutisho, hapo nimekataa kutisho kabisa. Na nyinyi msikubali kutishwa, na msikubali watu wetu nyumbani watishwe ama wapangwe na mtu yeyote. Jomo Kenyatta studied in the UK for 15 years. And he came there as a hustler and as a struggler like you. How did he manage to own half of Kenya? Only in 15 years of leadership. Lakini wakiona hasa mwingine kama hapa ati anajipanga na mahasa wenzake anaitwa mwizi. Wao ni wezi. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you very much. Let me ask now Kipchumba to comment. The Diaspora Policy project. We are doing project between Susan and
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good evening, everybody. It's my greatest pleasure and honor to be here with you. For the people of this area, Maryland, Virginia, I was here 16 years ago, but it feels like it was just the other day. And I feel like this place is my second home. And the friendships that we established here, as Reverend said here, I taught in Sunday school and I sang in the choir and went to school here, and I was helped here. I was supported when I was in school by people who have become my second family. When things became so difficult in the city center, people circle there, David and his family were sitting here and took me to their home, and that became a great blessing for me, because then that's how I got to know Pastor Simon, Wilfred, Moingate, and all these church members who are here. And I want to say, I understand what you're talking about. It is not a story from another side. I know if we were working, Your Excellency, if we were working only 10% how these people work, Kenya will never be the same. We are committing the amount of energy and time that these people spend working in this country. You know, before I came here, we used to be told at home that mtu anakuambia tafuta tu uende Amerika, ukienda ati hata ukikatakata nyasi tu hivi unalipwa. When I arrived, my old friends, including my host, we were not able to meet because one comes in the morning, the other one comes in the evening, and you're wondering, are these people even related in this house? And I want to say, all the things that were presented, we are going to support you. Just one thing to add. In terms of the bills, because I saw one of the presentations saying you want to make contribution to the bills that we pass in Parliament. Also interest yourself generally, because the public participation includes yourselves. When they are put on the website, you have a right to present a memorandum, just like any other person in the country. We also have now in Parliament video technology, including Zoom, being used in our committees. So if you interest yourself in any bill, we will invite you via Zoom to address a committee of Parliament. The next thing we are going to do, now that the boss has said, Susan, myself, and others who are here, and I was surprised because in one of the vehicles we came with Owen, Swipan, myself, Koril Simoe, and we realized all of us had studied in this country and lived here for some period of time, now including Susan and others who have been there. I think we should not just go and form a caucus. I think if we are going to take seriously the contribution, the resources you people are presenting, in the next regime, because we will be majority, we will have the president, but we'll have majority in both houses. I think we need to establish a committee of Parliament that is diaspora-only committee. That will be separate from the traditional foreign relations committee. This one will just focus on concerns of Kenyans, not forget about the relationship we have with other countries, but Kenyans who are living in diaspora. And I think that is my commitment, because I suspect I'll be elected back to the Senate. That I will push for Senate to have a committee on diaspora and for also National Assembly. So that it's beyond a caucus. It is funded by this Parliament to focus on issues of diaspora and report to Parliament continuously to ensure that government has put in place the bills, but also oversighted every ministry that comes to answer on questions to diaspora. You know, people of diaspora, I love you, and I wish you God's blessings. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for making this one of the most beautiful meetings I've ever seen by diaspora. Thank you very much.
Let me now ask Susan Kilika.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kwanza, let me say I'm very also delighted to be here this evening. I feel like I'm back home amidst my peers. Your Excellency, diaspora has always been very vibrant in terms of what's going on back home. Because I remember even when we lived here, and even you all who are still here, you usually even know what's going on in Kenya before some of us who are there know. Sometimes you call your mom or dad and say, "Hi, yeah, what's going on?" Because they read a lot, they are very involved. And I think, not I think, but I know it's the right time that they must now be involved beyond just sending money. And when you know, Your Excellency, when you, I don't know if you are joking, but it's true, I do remember when we were here, like people would continuously send money, maybe to my brother to build for me an apartment, and he would keep taking pictures of the neighboring plot until you go there and you faint, because there is nothing on the plot, if there is even a plot. So we must also have ways to protect the diaspora so that their hard-earned cash gets to where it's supposed to go. And I will also take the challenge, Your Excellency, to make sure that we begin that caucus so that we can at least start liaising with the leadership here and making sure that the issues that need to be addressed, by the time Senator Murkomen and the rest go back to Parliament, there is work on the in-tray for the committee, the new committees. And we shall work together here in our caucus, because as you said, most of us have gone to school here or at some point lived here. Your Excellency, I also look around and I see a lot of people that I worked on a bit of their immigration cases when I was here in the US, so I'm happy to see that you all are doing very, very well. And I will also not let you down on the other side, because I think when you think of those who've gone home and gotten into this leadership in politics, perhaps I come up. So in future, I would also wish to speak, if you like, to those who are now planning to come and take a stab at the political offices when the time comes. Everybody used to ask me, why would you leave this land with all these roads and water and go home where maybe the roads are challenged and all that? And I always thought that we must make a difference. We must make a difference. So as we continue to make a difference here, we also will continue to do so there, and together I think we shall make Kenya great. Thank you, and please, 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 please support my boss and Kenya Kwanza. And I can tell you, he has a vision, he is very progressive, and he will take Kenya to the next level, together with our partner, Musalia Mudavadi. Thank you.
Let me now ask Governor Salim Mburia, the Governor of Kwale. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Salim. And just for the record, Governor Mburia is among the best performing governors in the country.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Deputy President, the leadership of Diaspora, my fellow leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Bwana asifiwe. I'm really inspired, Your Excellency, because most of the time when people meet the diaspora, it's only a greeting. But today I have seen an act of patriotism, because the diaspora here is well organized, but they are also active participants in the decisions that happen in our country. I want to urge you to continue with the same trajectory, because within Kenya Kwanza, under the leadership of His Excellency William Ruto, we know our country will be able to achieve much more prosperity, and we also know that with economic inclusion, then we'll be able to be a giant in the whole of Africa. So I want us to work together so that 9th of August we can have a landslide victory, and then we can be able to implement our programs with a lot of legitimacy. I know the coast region most of the time has been zoned. People think it is a zone of someone. I want to assure you the coast region is very democratic, and for the first time I think we are finishing the cult that has existed. I think we did an experiment in the by-election in Sabwen, it worked, and we know it will work. I have listened to Danson, the presentation was very good, and Your Excellency allowed me to do a bit of marketing, because if they work so hard, they need to go for holiday. And you know the Diani Beach has been voted 8 years running as the best destination in Africa. So when you feel you need to relax, that is the place to be. If you come before the end of 5 months, you will get state-based. Before the end of 5 months. That is before I finish my term. I also want to add one more thing, because I think the engagement with national government under Kenya Kwanza is assured. But again, you also need to see another opportunity within counties. So I think the incoming governors within Kenya Kwanza, who will also be at the Council of Governors, it will be important that you rope in the council in the areas that you mentioned, the entrepreneurship, the business opportunities, and other engagement that counties will offer. Otherwise, I'm really inspired. Sisi tuko ground, msiwe na wasiwasi. Nataka kuhakikisha Kenya Kwanza imeunda serikali. Kwa hivyo mimi nimefurahi sana, nimeona kitendo ya uzalendo kwenu. Tunawaombea Mwenyezi Mungu na tunaombea rais wetu wa 5, ili Mwenyezi Mungu aweze kumnusuru kwa mitihani yote anayopata, na Mwenyezi Mungu atupe subra ili tuweze kufaulu hata zaidi. Mungu awabariki, asanteni sana.
Let me now ask my good brother, the Honorable Aden the majority leader. I'm told there is the leader of majority, who is now different, but we have the majority leader. We need the majority in parliament.
Thank you, Excellency. Watu wa diaspora hamjambo. Salamu alaikum. Najua mimi najua maneno ya diaspora. Na msalamia my community Minnesota, Ohio, Seattle, Georgia, Dallas, unajua. Mimi unajua pesa ya diaspora sisi uzizeni kwa Somalia. Tumejenga miji. There is built mainly from the proceeds of diaspora. And actually, kama kuna hassles. Hakuna hassles Kenya. Ndio Masai watu. So these are true hassles. Maybe tasema maybe, but this election is going to be a very deciding election. This election is about ending impunity. This election is going to be about upholding the rule of law. You know, our government has violated in content ministers, and including the president, over 700 court orders. Yeah, I'm sure you know that. This election is about the unity of the people of Kenya. You have heard about the many village, regional, and ethnic political parties that are being formed. Unajua nashangaza ya kwamba 2015, people follow our politics. We were told to collapse 14 parties and form Jubilee Party. We did it. And we got the dividends, 175 members of parliament in the National Assembly. All of a sudden, that outfit was given to some crooks and drunkards to run a serious national party. You know those guys. In fact, you know, they sent Tuju the other day because they realized he is of no value. You know, he finished, he destroyed the party, he abused the deputy president and all of us. Now they realized, hakuna kazi ilibaki. This election is about public debt. The president said he's leaving a GDP of 13 trillion, but he's not telling the people of Kenya that he's also leaving a debt of 12 trillion. You know, it is very, very sad, but a bit of deceit. He's saying, you know, he's very, very economical with the truth. Yeah, the president is very economical with the truth. And he's full of deceit. You know what he says? President Kibaki left a GDP of 5 trillion. Yes, we agree. Whatever it is, outstanding, respectable finance minister. And he says, I have taken that 5 trillion to 13 trillion. But he's not telling the country, Kibaki also left me with 1.8 trillion debt, but I've taken it to 12 trillion. You know, every Kenyan, even those who are kwa tumbo ya mama, wanadaiwa na China na kila mtu 265,000 Kenya shillings. You can imagine? And in fact, it's good that our leaders are here. When we win the elections, if they don't fix the economy in 18 months, Kenya will go the Greece way. Yeah, this government of President William Ruto, as much as they're going to deal with hazards, they must deal with the debt. So this election is about the debt. This election is about ending political deceit, betrayal, that has been the hallmark of our politics since independence. And I'll give you examples. This is what happened to Jaramogi Oginga in the 60s. This is what happened to Moi. This is what Moi did to Saitoti and, you know, Mwai Kibaki, the way he treated as a vice president. This is what happened to this same man of Kitendawili during the Grand Coalition government. This is what has happened finally to the deputy president. You know, the Constitution of 2010, the framers did a wonderful job. They insulated the offices of the deputy president from the vagrants of impunity and insult and betrayal. Imagine if William Ruto could have just been appointed or sacked by the president. He could have gone a long time ago. Some of us, we decided to stand on the right side of history. Some of us. And we made sacrifices. We sacrificed our positions. We sacrificed even our seats in the committees in parliament, people like Echungwa, Murkomen, and Susan. We withstood insults. And one time, you know, they told us that we have cornered William Ruto. We have put him in a cage. Are you guys ready to stand outside the cage? That is the kind of arrogance those guys have. Chuma chao kikomo. Mimi naambia nyinyi wale jamaa akende kutushinda. Yaani nyinyi watu nyinyi mko first world. Unajua nyinyi a lot of the villages man. Nyinyi mko first world. Ukiangalia Musalia Mudavadi na team na William Ruto. Pray for us. We want to save Kenya. It's not about William Ruto. It's not about Musalia Mudavadi. We want you people to be very proud people when you walk in the streets in Western capitals and in the other parts of the world, that the flag of Kenya is respected. The flag of Kenya cannot represent impunity and violation of the rule of law. So, sasa mnaona hata tukiwa hapa, they have so much concern about us, where we go, who we see. Tunamwona kwa Twitter. Ati hamjaenda White House, hamjaenda hapo. Sasa mimi nauliza. But that tells you we are a serious team. You know, by the way, if you are not discussed, if you don't trend in the Twitter, if you don't trend, you don't trend in Facebook, you better quit politics. Yeah, so people are so busy. And our friend, President William Ruto, you people, we respect him. He's our leader. But we are telling him, everything else I agree with you. Like in the story of Yukichandaweli, you have to come. So tuko pamoja hiyo. Jue hilo na. Wangapi watatupigia kura? Asanteni.
I know we have been our midst, and I have become a very poor manager of the whole of this thing. But you all agree that we have the best team anywhere we go. Very insightful, thoughtful people. I know we have the other members of our delegation. We have Kabuna Mwamba, can round of applause for him. Kabuna Mwamba is outstanding in his own way. That is one man who resigned from being a deputy minister, kind of, to come and join our team so that he can dedicate his time. We don't get that kind of commitment easily. So again, I want to say thank you very much. The other people from Nairobi, can you stand up so that I can recognize the other people from Nairobi? Before I finally, David Lee. You know Mohammed Hussein. When I will tell you the story about Mohammed Hussein, you will be surprised. I'm not telling you. Mohammed Hussein is a very special Kenyan. You will very rarely find the kind of job we have in that great Kenya. But I will talk about his story another day. Any other person that I haven't thank you very much. Yeah, finally, I want to, so that I can step down, I want to ask the Honorable Josephat Koli Manok, Governor of who is the Director General of our presidential campaign, a former chair of the Council of Governors, and he did some outstanding contribution when he was chair. And I say so because I have been chair of IBEC, and I know the contribution Dr. Anok has made. Mr. Anok will be our last speaker, and then we'll hand over to the
Thank you, Excellency. Honorable Musalia, my colleagues and politicians who are here, and of course the members of the diaspora. Habari zenu nyote. Shikamo. Asante sana. You know, when you speak immediately after the deputy president, you don't have much to say. But since he's given me this honor, let me say a few words and I can be able to end there. Number one, we appreciate all the issues you've raised. And I think we did it the bottom-up way, listening to you. And I think this is a listening we'll be doing in all the 47 counties. And now we've had that opportunity of listening in the 48th county. And for those issues to be taken up by the next government, for those issues to be executed, for you to be supported, because you represent one of the largest Kenyan exports, the human resource. We are only 5 months to election. We've got work to do. We cannot celebrate now that we have won the election. We have work to do in these 5 months. I can only ask the members of UDA in the diaspora, do a lot more so that we can deliver and the promises we've just given can be able to be fulfilled. And there are several ways. I think you've been supporting the party. Thank you for that. We need your vote. We need you to support the campaign. I had a very big team. Some members have already been announced here. I always say that the Deputy President and Kenya Kwanza has a team that is underdogs. It is considered underdogs. If you look at the names that were in the media the other day of the other teams and the CVs, I think we are with a team that has very short CV. But we like it that way, because working that way means we can deliver. I know some of us may be having CVs, but it is not considered as something important in politics on the other side. But we will help deliver if we can work together. I have heard you clearly say you want to protect the vote. We equally want the vote to be protected. Every Kenyan voter wants the vote of the Deputy President William Ruto to be protected. We are telling our opponents also, protect your vote. We don't want to steal your vote, so don't steal our vote also. Let's protect the vote. Let us support IEBC to be able to maintain its independence and be able to oversee a free and fair election. For the members of the diaspora, as all other members of UDA, you have that opportunity of contributing towards protecting the vote. We have begun a process of adopt a polling station. You can be able, for example, in the village where you're coming from, home area, decide to adopt that polling station, decide to adopt that ward, the polling centers in that ward, the polling centers in the county, and I think in that way you will be making your contribution even if you don't vote, for those who may not have that opportunity of voting. So I think we will be having that conversations together so that we make sure that we work together. The other thing, and I think this is something that we will be working with our communication team headed by Hussein, is for you to walk the journey with Kenya Kwanza team as a campaign. As they listen to the people, as they respond to the people, we will walk through that journey between now and election day. And I think we'll make sure that information is online so that you can be able to follow all the happenings on real time. Including, and I think within this month, we will be formally nominating the Deputy President as a candidate for UDA and a candidate for Kenya Kwanza. So we need to follow all that sure that we won this one. Because it is about continuing on the status quo as things have been, on the trickle-down decision-making, or putting Kenya on a new trajectory that is going to bring new change, new economic change, and make sure that your income, which you have earned here for so many hours, is put into better use back home. And I think it's critical as we go forward. So, asanteni sana, we will continue engaging, and I believe also, for most of the things you've said here, the county governments that are going to be elected in 9th of August will also take up some of the issues you have raised here so that they can be able to legislate them and be able to put them in their programs for implementation. Thank you so much. We have a candidate. He is strong, he is aggressive. I think I was hearing a member of the Diaspora whispering behind me and saying, this man has a lot of energy. And I told him, and I was almost telling him, you have not seen his energy. You have not seen his energy. You will see more of him, and I believe this is the kind of energy that he wants to bring when he becomes the president, the 5th president of Kenya, and be able to serve all of us and make a difference to all the Kenyans, including our critical Kenyan citizenry that is in the diaspora, that is doing a very huge contribution to our country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Two things. I'm told there are aspirants, people who want to run for seats in the coming elections. If they are here, can we recognize them? I know him very well. All the way from Bomatoge, Korabu. We have Mr. The next constituent. Okay, Ezekiel Osiemo. Bomatoge, Korabu constituency. Thank you very much. We have okay, Rukia Hamisi from Nakuru, Shiro. We have Mr. Matoke here, who is running for governor of Kisii Council. And we have Mr. Metuni from Mandamana Bay. We recently were in town, and we reminded the electorate there that he has something. Now, the other thing I want to say is we are having our National Delegates Conference on the 15th. I have been informed by the SG that any member of the diaspora who would want to attend the National Delegates Conference, please speak to our SG, and she should be able to facilitate your attendance. And then finally, I've been told that maybe we take 2-3 questions before we ask Rachel to come and make the closing remarks.
Here is our first lady right here.
Pardon?
This is how we're going to do. This is how we're going to go about it. The Deputy President has said that he will take maximum 5 questions. Maximum 5 questions. And because of gender balance, I would say 3 ladies and 2 men. And this is my logic. The person who is taking the questions is a man. So tatu, au sio? Tatu, 3 men, I mean 3 women, 3 ladies, and 2 gentlemen.
Okay, madam, you have the mic.
Hello, my name is Ruby Kendigo, and I am from the Caribbean, and I am happily married to a Kenyan, and his name is Dr. Solomon Kendigo. I want to direct my encouraging words to Dr. and Mrs. Ruto, Rachel and Dr. D.P. Ruto, and I want to tell you that I pray for you every day. I follow you on Facebook. I know exactly where you are going. And I pray for you. And I ask God to protect you and give you strength, as well as do not eat too much food. Because you are going to be going to bring a difference in Kenya. So my dear fellow Kenyans, I am from the Caribbean, but I love your country. Kenya is the best country. And God has brought you to America, and remember this. God wants you to serve Him first, Matthew 6:33, and make a difference. That's my word for you. Thank you very much.
And you're most welcome to Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Excellency, for coming to see us in America. I was very, very happy, and it happened that I was in Maryland when you came here. So thank you so much that you came with a big team. I thank you for that. I treasure those memories. So I know that we are here for a start, and I've never been really in politics in Kenya, but this time I'm going to support you.
Thank you.
Mine is, thank you, Rachel, also. Thank you so much. I just wanted to have, I just have concerns when I come to Kenya, is about the roads in Kenya. If you can help us with those roads.